Elen, Scylla, Lumen, Omentiovo. Today I bring to you all the legend of Celebrimbor. Celebrimbor, whose name roughly means silver fist in Sindarin, was born sometime prior to the flight of the Noldor to Curufin, the fifth son of Fëanor. Much of Celebrimbor's early life is unknown. He would take after his father and grandfather, becoming interested in crafts and being a great craftsman like his grandfather. While Celebrimbor did not take the oath of Fëanor, it is most likely that he joined his family at the kinslaying of Alcalonde, therefore sailing across the Belagar and fighting in the Dagor Nuin Gileath. After Fëanor's death and the creation of the many Noldoran realms, Celebrimbor lived with his father and uncle Celegorm in Himlad. In 455 of the First Age, the Dagor Bragalach broke out, and many Noldoran realms were destroyed, including Himlad. The survivors would flee, with Celegorm, Curufin, and Celebrimbor entering Nagothrond, the kingdom of Finrod Felagund. Celebrimbor would love Nargothrond and its people. Division came between father and son when Curufin and Celegorm tried to usurp power in Nargothrond, though their treachery was revealed, and they were banished. Celebrimbor, however, turned against his father, being appalled by the wickedness in his father's heart. Because of this, Celebrimbor was allowed to stay in Nargothrond. In 495, Nargothrond was sacked, and it is unknown how Celebrimbor survived it if he was still living in Nargothrond. But he would survive, and where he wandered is unknown, as is unknown when he would learn of his father's death in the second kinslaying. The First Age would come to an end with Morgoth's defeat in the War of Wrath. Beleriand was ruined and was sunk by the Valar. Those who survived the war that didn't return to Valinor journeyed over the Blue Mountains into Lindon, ruled by High King Gil-galad. In the year 750 of the Second Age, the elves learned that Mithril is discovered in Khazad-dûm, and Celebrimbor, eager to form a friendship with the dwarves, established the kingdom of Eregion along the border of the Misty Mountains. The elves who followed him became the Gwaith-y-Myrdain, the jewel smiths, who became renowned for their crafts of beauty. In this time, Celebrimbor became great friends with the dwarven craftsman Narvi, and they crafted the doors of Durin together. It is possible that one of Celebrimbor's crafts at this time was a second Elisar stone that he made for Galadriel, for he loved her, but her heart belonged to Celeborn. The fame of the Gwaith-y-Myrdain was so great that in the year 1200, a fair-seeming being who called himself Annatar came to them. He claimed to be a servant of the Valar and made promises to help the Myrdain make Middle-earth as beautiful as Valinor. Messengers came to Celebrimbor from Gil-galad, telling him to shun Annatar, and Galadriel spoke about her uneasiness about Annatar. Celebrimbor's desires, however, were what Annatar was promising, and he allowed Annatar to enter Os in Ethil. Annatar would teach the Myrdain much in the ways of crafting, giving them vast knowledge of creating rings of power. The elves would spend centuries crafting the lesser rings, until at last they grew skilled enough to forge the 16 Rings of Power. After 300 years of crafting, Annatar departed Eregion, and it is possible Celebrimbor gave a ring to Durin III during this time. Celebrimbor, though, was not satisfied by the rings, as they were dominating in nature. So Celebrimbor began crafting 3 rings in secret, rings meant to preserve the beauty in the world. In 1590, these rings, Narya, the Ring of Fire, Nenya, the Ring of Water, and Vilya, the Ring of Air, were finished. It was through these rings Celebrimbor learned his mistake. Annatar was not an emissary of the Valar, but Sauron, the former servant of Morgoth and the new Dark Lord, who created his own master ring to rule the others. Outraged, the elves took their rings off. Celebrimbor, valuing the 3, sent Nenya to Galadriel and Narya and Vilya to Gil-galad. The elves now prepared for war. That war would come as Sauron descended upon Eregion with his army. He demanded the rings be given to him, since by his knowledge could they be made, but the elves refused him. In 1965, Sauron invaded Eregion. The Myrdain were able to withstand for 2 years, before at last Ost-in-Ethil was sacked. Celebrimbor stood his ground against Sauron, but would be taken prisoner. There, in the house of the Myrdain, Sauron tortured Celebrimbor for the location of the rings. The 9 he found quickly, and Celebrimbor would give up the 7, but the 3 he would not, for of all of his crafts, the 3 were his most beloved. Sauron would thus kill Celebrimbor, and the orcs feathered him with many arrows before using him as a banner to demoralize the elves. And so Celebrimbor died, much like and unlike his grandfather Fëanor. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, feel free to like and subscribe for more content, and please let me know how I can better improve these videos. Thanks, and as the elves say, Namarie.